In the world of technology, a single percentage point in market share is usually worth a billion-dollar celebration. But in January 2026, Samsung Electronics didn't just move the needle, they broke the scale. Last week, the South Korean giant dropped a financial bombshell that has sent shockwaves from Seoul to Silicon Valley, a preliminary operating profit of 20 trillion won, roughly $13.8 billion for the final 3 months of 2025. This isn't just a good quarter, it is the highest quarterly profit ever recorded by a Korean company, surpassing even the legendary semiconductor super cycle of 2018. While the world spent 2025 debating if the AI hype was a bubble, Samsung was quietly building the needle that keeps the bubble expanding. Today, we're breaking down the hyperbull market that turned a memory shortage into a $13.8 billion gold mine. This isn't just about chips. It's about how AI's unstoppable thirst for memory has rewritten the rules of the global economy. To understand why Samsung is suddenly printing money at a rate of 1.52 trillion won per week, we have to look at the architecture of modern intelligence. For years, the bottleneck of computing was the brain, the processor. But in the era of large language models, LLMs, the brain is only as fast as its memory. In the technical world, we call this the memory wall. Most AI today, from GPT-5 to the latest autonomous agents, requires massive amounts of data to be moved in and out of processors at lightning speed. This has created a desperate rush for high bandwidth memory, or HBM. Unlike traditional computing, where data stays relatively static, AI workloads require massive parameters to be constantly shuffled between the storage and the processing unit. This constant data migration creates a physical heat and speed limit that only advanced 3D stacked HBM can solve. By vertically stacking memory chips and connecting them through microscopic through-silicon vias, TSS-VS, Samsung has essentially built a high-speed elevator for data, bypassing the congested stairs of traditional DRAM. By late 2025, Samsung's Device Solutions, DS division, which oversees its chip business, reportedly contributed between 16 and 17 trillion won to the quarterly operating profit alone. That means roughly 80% of the company's entire profit came from the silicon in its clean rooms. While standard models like GPT-4 were pushing the limits of software, Samsung was pushing the limits of physics, diverting production away from consumer electronics to feed the AI factories of NVIDIA and ASM. To understand how Samsung tripled its profit in a single year, you have to look at the turnaround card they played on the market. In early 2025, critics were worried. Samsung had famously lagged behind its rival, SK Hynix, in the HBM race. Even Samsung's co-CEO Jun Young-hun had to issue a rare public apology for the company's underperformance. But then came the hyperbull shift. Unlike previous tech cycles driven by people buying new laptops, this cycle is powered by hyperscalers, companies like Microsoft, Google, and Meta, who are building data centers at a scale never seen before. These giants aren't just buying DRAM, they are willing to pay a price premium just to secure supply. In the final quarter of 2025, contract prices for commodity DRAM surged by a staggering 50%. Samsung, being the world's largest memory maker by capacity, was the primary beneficiary. While others were struggling with yields, Samsung leveraged its massive production base to flood the market with high-margin components. The strategy was simple: prioritize the steel of the AI age. By shifting capacity away from standard PC and smartphone memory toward HBM and server-grade SSDs, Samsung triggered a global shortage in everyday tech, which in turn sent prices for standard memory through the roof. It was a textbook pincer movement: charge a premium for the new tech, HBM, and ride the rising tide of the old tech, DRAM. But Samsung's $13.8 billion win wasn't just about market forces. It was about a high-stakes diplomatic charm offensive. To reclaim its spot as the world's top memory maker, Samsung's leadership, including Chairman Lee Jae-yong, went on a global friendship tour. In a moment that has now become industry lore, Chairman Lee described his relationship with NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang not just as a business partnership, but as a friendship. This strategic partnership was the key. By late 2025, Samsung had successfully cleared the hurdles to supply its HBM3E and HBM4 chips to NVIDIA's newest platforms. This collaboration effectively solidified Samsung's role as a cornerstone of the NVIDIA supply chain, ensuring their silicon would power the next generation of Blackwell and Rubin GPU architectures. By aligning their engineering roadmaps directly with NVIDIA's rapid release cycle, Samsung transformed from a mere component vendor into a vital co-architect of the AI revolution. This allowed Samsung to reclaim its top spot in DRAM sales revenue from SK Hynix, a position it had lost a year prior. For Samsung, 2025 was the year of Samsung is back. They didn't just provide the memory, they secured the execution layer of the global AI infrastructure. The company's HBM4 samples are already being shipped to key clients, ensuring that as NVIDIA's GPUs get faster, Samsung's memory will be right there to catch the data. However, Samsung's massive profit comes with a shocking reality for the average consumer. While the semiconductor division is celebrating, the digital experience division, which makes your phones and TVs, is feeling the heat. Samsung's co-CEO TM Roh recently warned that the rising cost of memory is making price hikes inevitable for consumer devices. This price surge is driven by a massive internal resource shift, where the ultra-pure silicon wafers, normally reserved for smartphones, are being redirected to high-margin AI servers. As a result, the bill of materials, BOM, for flagship devices has reached an all-time high, forcing a difficult choice between thinning profit margins or passing the bill to the user. Manufacturers are now scrambling to optimize software because the physical cost of adding more RAM has become a luxury that even mid-range consumers can no longer afford. In the world of 2026, the internet is becoming an AI living space, where your fridge, TV, and phone are all connected via personal superintelligence. But that intelligence requires chips that are now 5 times more expensive than they were a year ago. Specifically, the price of an 8GB DDR4 DRAM stick, a standard part in many laptops, climbed to $9.30 by the end of 2025, a nearly 7-fold increase in a single year. This has created a digital iron curtain where the cost of entry for high-end hardware is skyrocketing. Samsung is betting that agentic AI that can act on your behalf, book your flights, and manage your life, will be so valuable that consumers will pay the premium. The shocking reality of 2026 is that the internet is no longer just a place to browse. It's an automated ecosystem. With a growing share of internet traffic now generated by agents, the integration of memory-heavy AI into every device is no longer a luxury. It's the standard. And as the primary supplier of that standard, Samsung has turned a supply shortage into a sovereign wealth-sized profit. The era of the single technology boom is over. We are now in the era of standardized autonomous infrastructure, where memory is the new oil. Analysts are already looking toward the rest of 2026, with some brokerages forecasting that Samsung's annual operating profit could exceed 100 trillion won, nearly $70 billion, if the current trends hold. This isn't just a corporate recovery, it's a proof of concept. It shows that in the 2020s, the winner isn't decided by who makes the best chatbot, but by who controls the kill chain of hardware that the chatbot runs on. Samsung's $13.8 billion quarter is a signal to the world. AI might be the brain, but memory is the blood. Without the massive high-speed storage that Samsung provides, the most advanced AI in the world is just a brain in a box, unable to think fast enough to be useful. What do you think? Is Samsung's dominance in the memory market a sign of a healthy ecosystem? Or are we heading toward a future where AI memory taxes make technology unaffordable for the average person? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates from the front lines of